You are going to die. Perhaps not today, maybe not even tomorrow, but you will. And most of what you do, the goals you pursue, the lies you repeat, the silences you swallow, is shaped by this. By the silent attempt not to think about the end.
But it is there, like a subterranean pulse that no one hears out loud, but which commands everything. You avoid talking about death because you believe it is the end. Only, that is the first illusion. When Thich Nhat Hanh's mother died, he did not cry as if he had lost something. He cried as one who understands that the wave has returned to the ocean, that the ocean never left. Look at the palm of your hand, he would say. If you look long enough, you will see your mother there. This phrase is not cheap poetry. It is physics. It is biology. It is memory. You are made of those who brought you here, including those who have already died. But death still frightens you because you think of it as a cut, an erasure, as nothingness. And nothingness terrifies. A pause. Have you noticed that we avoid entering cemeteries as we avoid confronting our own existence? That we treat the coffin as something dirty when it is just wood, and the body merely matter returning to matter? The fear of death is not in the grave. It is in our inability to understand what it means to live. That is why this video exists, because Thich Nhat Hanh did not just want you to stop being afraid of death. He wanted you to die now, not with your body, but with the illusion, and finally begin to live with lucidity. You see that there is no life on one side and death on the other, only the flow, only the continuity, only what never stops. The question then is not, when will I die? The real question is, what is dying in me every day without me realizing it? And that is where everything begins. The fear of death is a discrete machine. It works even when you think it's turned off. It is in every exaggeration of control, in every comfortable vice, in every person who surrounds themselves with distractions so as not to hear their own urgency. It is in the adult who lives rushing to be someone in life, as if premature death would catch them off guard, and they needed to justify their existence. But what is the justification for existence? Most people live as if it were possible to negotiate with time, as if death only happened to the elderly or to others. But it is light-footed. It arrives with the car that crosses the light, with the word the doctor pronounces in a neutral voice, with the scream that is not quick enough to be heard. People are afraid. They run in search of security, but security where? In the future? The future is not available. Thich Nhat Hanh said this with the calm of one who does not need to conquer fear, but simply see through it. The fear of death is almost always the fear of not having lived. And this is not just any fear. It is a disguised confession, because those who live in peace with the now do not tremble at the end. Death does not exist, or if it exists, not as we think. This idea seems absurd, scandalous, but only because we have been trained to see the world in pieces, body and soul, life and death, before and after, all separated as if reality were made of sharp boundaries. But reality is not a line, it is a flow. The cloud never dies. It transforms into rain. And this phrase, which seems like a Zen aphorism, is an ontological sentence, a description of reality. The cloud does not disappear, it changes form, and what you call death is only that change. The idea that something is born from nothing and returns to nothing is not rational. It is cultural. It is a belief, not a realization. Heraclitus already said, everything flows, nothing is static, nothing is isolated. And when the West tried to freeze being, the East reminded us, everything is interbeing. You are not separate from anything, not from the tree, nor the ground, nor the body that will one day stop breathing. Death is a fiction invented to sustain the ego, and the ego, in turn, is the only one that has something to lose. Reality does not. What exists does not stop existing. It just stops resembling what you knew. We want to be remembered, but we live as if we were going to disappear. We post, we talk, we write, as if we could fix our existence in files, photos, testimonials. But deep down, We don't believe that what we do remains. We live a contradiction. We crave continuity, but we act as if what we are ends with the body. Thich Nhat Hanh breaks this view. If you think I am dead, you are not seeing me correctly. Every time you breathe in, you will see that I am in you. This is not a spiritual metaphor. It is the concept of interbeing, the notion that nothing exists alone and nothing ends in itself. It is the same thing Spinoza would say. Man is a modification of the single substance, and in it, he continues, a gesture of compassion resonates. An ignored trauma also. We are continuous effects, fragments in motion. You do not end in you. The way you treat your child shapes the way they will love. The way you talk to strangers shapes the kind of city you live in. Your existence spreads, your absence too. The death of the body does not extinguish the impact of life. It only reveals what remained, and something always remains. You are going to lose everything. Your youth, your body, your parents, your name. Everything that seems solid today will slip through your fingers. That is the part that frightens. But here is what no one says. This is also what liberates. There is only real freedom when everything is provisional. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "Impermanence is the foundation of freedom. Whoever understands this stops negotiating with time. They stop conditioning happiness to a future that never arrives." Seneca was relentless with those who waste life. You live as if you were immortal, but the awareness of finitude does not paralyze us. It awakens us. It is the illusion of permanence that makes us apathetic. You have a changing body, a heart that gets tired, relationships that end, and yet you live as if everything is going to last forever. The fear of death is born from this dissonance. But when you accept impermanence as law, not as a threat, something changes. You stop defending yourself from life and start living it completely, even the parts that hurt. Only those who die to the idea of control can breathe in peace. The rest is survival disguised as routine. You are already dying. Not in 20 years. Now, every day that passes is a piece of you that is dissolving. Every forgotten memory, every dead cell, every silence pushed to tomorrow. All of that is already part of your death. But if death is not the end, if there is no separation, if everything transforms, then the only thing that truly dies is the illusion that life was guaranteed. That is what Thich Nhat Hanh tried to show, that peace is not born from control, but from surrender. Fear is born from ignorance. When we understand deeply, fear disappears. You have already understood. Death is not interruption, it is transition. The self is not an entity, it is a current. What you do, think, touch, remains, even after your name is forgotten. And if so, the only lucid way to live is to live as one who has already died without unfinished business, without pretense, without time to waste. Everything that is not essential falls away. What remains, finally, is presence. And only presence survives.